Hello everyone, I just want to go over a couple things real quickly. I do want you to take notes and send me notes on these, and if you answered the questions, that's great, send me the questions. Your final will be, I believe it's Tuesday, the 9th of June, because you're an even class period. Your finals will have to be turned into me by 4 o'clock Tuesday afternoon, no later, okay? So I will post the final early that morning, so you can have it as early as you want it, but it needs to be in by 4 o'clock, okay? I'm going to go over the rest of this, the background information on some of these poems, and then tomorrow what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a review for our final test. The final test is only going to be over poetry and Robert Frost. Okay, it's not going to be over everything we've done since I've been with you. That was already done on Friday. Okay, so here we go. We did briefly talk about the road not taken. The two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Shows that the speaker did not follow the crowd, that he made his decision against tradition and conventions on his own. He stood independently on his own. Now, fire and ice, I think we briefly mentioned that fire suggested desire and ice suggested hate. The poem is a serious comment on humanity. Okay, so we need to remember that. Now, stopping by the woods on a snowy evening. The darkest evening means physically and emotional darkness. The speaker needs to keep promises that outweighs his desire to stay. Okay. The next poem and the last poem that we're going to do is The Death of a Hired Hand. The poem is usually called a narrative poem. The story of the poem is implicit, hidden in one continuous dialogue between two speakers characterizing a third person, which is an absent person, okay? We see things through Mary and Warren. We learn all we need to know about Silas to arouse our compassion and understanding for his lonely and limited life. Silas is a hired hand that has returned to Mary and Warren's farm after one of his habitual absences. We find out in the story that he disappears quite often and just up and leaves, and then he comes back and he expects his full pay and everything else again. But Warren, who has been to the market, is asked by his wife to treat Silas with kindness because he is even more miserable and broken down than he was when he left and just kind of disappeared and went incognito. Warren asserts that he has always been fair to Silas, but that he must be practical. Silas is old, he can do little work, he is not dependable, yet he demands a fixed wage. Warren resents Silas leaving him during hay time for someone else to help give him some pocket money. All right, so he's not able to work for Warren, but he's able to go work for somebody else. Then when he returns, it's during winter for Warren, and all the haying is done and the light work is done, and really he doesn't need Silas. So he tends to have Silas leave. He's going to basically fire him. Well, Warren goes to check on Silas in where he stays, and Mary remains watching the night sky. As the poem ends, we find that Warren returns to tell Mary that Silas has died. So he basically came home to die. And that is the end of the poem and the poetry that we're going to cover in this little unit on poetry for this week. Like I said, tomorrow we'll do, tomorrow's Wednesday. We will not do a video tomorrow. We'll do one on Thursday, and that will be the review for your final. Okay? Have a great night, and remember, please remember, I must have your final by 4 o'clock. Thank you. Have a great night.